This is the kind of educational bit of this video, and I filmed it and then lost the footage, so I'm doing it again. Basically, I've got a master cylinder, if you remember, attached to kind of generic, it's a generic master cylinder available off eBay, quite cheap, used in Land Rovers and things, and the fitting on the end of the pipe to that is 3/8 24 UNF. I've then got a 3/16 pipe running to the back of the car, T-splitter, then off to the brake drums. Now, working back from the brake drums, the fittings for those are 7/16 24, and they're for 1/4" pipe. So I've tried all different combinations. This is the simplest. So a male 7/16 24 male fitting goes into the brake drum. That's good. 1/4" pipe to the T. Same the other side. You can buy a T that's got 3 female ports, and they're all 7/16 24. So that's great. All I've got to do is find a connection for a 3/16 pipe that's 7/16 24 male to screw into there. Now you can't get that. I couldn't find one. So there's this adapter, which is a lifesaver. That's male one side, 7/16 24 goes into the T, and then female side it's 3/8 24 UNF, same as this. So what is this? This is the key to it all. It's called an Edelman adapter. I found it on a forum. It's called an Edelman 258340. If you enter that into Google or whatever and search, if you're lucky, you'll find one. I had to get it from the US, shipped over. So by the time it arrived here, it was really expensive. The T, not so bad. It's just 3 female ports, all that size. So that's how I've done it. And I'll go to the car. I'll show you it all. So there's the 3/16 pipe running along to the T. The adapter, Edelman adapter, screws in. You can see it, I think, into the T. Yeah, and if you can you see that? Hang on, let's try another angle. Get there in the end. Right, so you can see the, can't remember the dimensions now anyway, but the smaller male one goes into the adapter goes into the T, and then coming out of the adapter you've got 1/4" pipe, right, running to the brake drums. So it does the job, but the key to it all is that, try and get it in focus for you, this, got my finger on it, adapter, which then runs into the T. Okay, that's the Edelman adapter. So I had to search around and experiment for hours and hours and hours, so you don't have to. Well, I think just about everyone who's ever worked with cars ends up with one of these brake pipe kits. Come with these little things. The idea is step one, you flare it out with the pointy bit there, goes in, and then you sort of roll it over with one of these dies. Right, I was talking rubbish earlier, so I'm just going to do a demo of how you are actually supposed to use these. So just a demo piece of pipe. So that's the 1/4". Bring that around there through that slot. Now the next thing is, how far should it stick up? That's the 1/4" die, so it's supposed to stick up as far as the edge of the die. So hang on, let's loosen everything a bit. So in this case it would be about there. Right, so tighten the short end first, then when you tighten this, the other end, it acts like a big lever, sort of crunching it down. Seems to work pretty well anyway. So do them up tight because they grip it and stop it being pushed through when you put the clampy thing on. So now we undo the clampy thing. Right, now I've already put a bit of grease, special grease on that, so it goes in there, and then that goes there, and the point of this goes into the top of the die, like that, and then we do it up. You can actually put it in a vise, which makes it easier, but you can use it sort of in the car as push, although the other type I was using before is actually probably easier if you're doing it that way. Right. So that's sort of put a bubble in the end, and then certainly for the type of flares we want, we then put this on again to finish it off. So we're going to sort of squish it down, and you'll see that the edges of these holes, they're not flat, they're flared, shaped themselves. So see what that looks like. A bit more, I think. So let's see what that looks like. Actually, it's not that great. It's a bit lopsided, but you get the idea. At least you can see what I'm trying to do. Oh, there we are. Can get it out. I thought it was stuck then. Right, let's see if that works. Yeah, perfect, look. Right, it's my second attempt. I'm learning a few things. First of all, where I put a mark, that's the start of the curve, because if you put it on this way round, the curve starts there and then it's sort of dragged round the bend by this top lever. So to start my curve, I put that line there. And then the direction of the curve, on the inner edge of the curve, I'm making a little row of dots, because it's really hard when it's not on the car to work out what angle to bend it. So the start of my curve is there, and then I'm going to get the dots facing that way, like that. Right, so that when I put the curve on, it's going to be going in roughly the right direction. Now I just double check that. I put a bit of tension on it now. Now I want this one to be 90 degrees, so that part's not too difficult. There we are, about there. So you can see that's where my mark was. So that's stayed put. And the curve runs from that mark in the direction with the dots on the inner curve, if I've marked it all up correctly. So you got wiggle and jiggle to get this off. Okay, so that's reasonably neat. Go on the other side. So I've got to think of a way of neatly fixing these to this axle, but for now I'm just going to use cable ties to stop them getting damaged. So I've done the hydraulic pipe fitting. Master cylinder for the clutch, I removed it temporarily because I'm going to put a bracing strut here on the steering. I moved the steering up again, which changed everything here, so that's why it's not there. But bearing in mind there's a beam axle here that's sort of bouncing up and down, I've taken this over here rather than lower down, and then it runs along the frame rail. Got brass P-clips for a bit of period sort of look, and copper rivets, so there might be brass. This is the handbrake system. Yeah, so there's the MG midget handbrake, and that all is now plumbed in nicely. It doesn't rub the tubes where it goes around them. There's a very small gap. It's deliberate. It goes through rubber grommets here in the bulkhead. Stop any chafing. Right, there we are. And then down again. So when I've got two pipes running along the side here. One then goes to this. Don't know if you can see it. Hydraulic cylinder there. Which I've got the right way up now with the bleed screw at the top, and that activates, if you remember, my adjustable rod here, which pushes this arm back and forth. I may put some sort of retaining wire somehow through this so it can't possibly kind of come out and fall down. And there's a little hole there in the arm. I'll put a return spring on that as well to kind of pre-tension it against the rod. And then we come to the brakes. We've got a splitter there. It goes left and right. And then I've got nice, neatly bent 1/4 inch pipes now, going off to the drums each side. There we are. And I think what I'm going to do for these, I could weld some sort of tab on. I don't want to drill holes in this, or I could use one of those. It's like zip tie, but it's made of very thin stainless steel. Put that around there, and then I could just go around the tube, but it's a bit amateurish, so I thought I'd make some sort of fitting that the stainless zip tie goes through, and then that is the clip for the tube. So I'll come back to that later, but I'm trying to think of a neat way to just hold these in maybe two, 3 positions along this axle on each side.